Good morning to our dearest Madam Principal, Dr. Josie M. Macaraeg, and to our two hardworking head teachers, Sir Ariel Togare and Madam Mercedes C. Agpawa. Greetings as well to my other resource speakers, as well as to my colleagues. Let me start my talk by sharing a particular story. The woodcutter and his blunt axe. There is a parable about a woodcutter and his blunt axe. He was told to pause regularly, to sharpen the axe so that he can cut more wood efficiently. But he refused, as he was too busy cutting wood. Cutting wood is hard work for young leaders and looks different in different countries. In the United Kingdom, it involves mentoring the disadvantaged young people, showing them that God can change our lives. In Ireland, it means working with young people who are caught in circles of destructive behavior, showing them that God can make good of any bad situation. In the Philippines, here in our country, it involved teaching in rural areas that got hit by calamities, places where resources were limited and with damaged infrastructure. Educators here sacrifice all they have to serve communities in practical ways to show the importance of education, to make a difference in their lives later on. In this current situation, we need to take a moment to pause and learn how to sharpen up our new axe. Now, replacing the axe with you, my dear educators, we need to take a moment to pause, to learn how to sharpen up our skills to fit the new next phase of our lives. If you don't take time to sharpen yourselves or ourselves, you will spend your whole life hacking away at missed opportunities. In sharpening ourselves, you need to take a regular time of reflection to begin with in the end mind. Clarify our goals, refresh ourselves for the next phase, and plan innovatively well. Sharpening up your axe. Great leaders don't blame the tools they are given, but they work to sharpen them up. Likewise, great teachers don't blame the schools they are given. Great teachers work to sharpen them up. My talk is about the concepts and impact of innovation in education. This is an introduction to innovation. Innovation means first different, then better. It is a fundamentally different way of doing things with better and different outcomes. Both the different and the better must be significant and substantial. Innovation differentiates between a leader and a follower. When you innovate, ask yourselves this: what is desirable to users? What is viable in the marketplace? And what is possible with technology? When it comes to education, innovation means what to you? This is the question that you have to answer. Innovation in education should be defined as making it easier for teachers and students to do the things that they want to do. These are the innovations that succeed, scale, and sustain, according to Rob Abel, an educator from the USA. The great aim of education is not knowledge, but action. What is the concept and impact of innovation in education? Education needs to think of innovation as those actions that significantly challenges key assumptions about schools and the way they operate. We cannot solve a problem by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them. That is according to Albert Einstein. Now we go to driving innovation and collaboration. The innovation cycle helps your organization become successful in identifying new ideas, implementing, and integrating them into operations. You must ingrain this cycle into the DNA of your organization. The innovation cycle, it starts with having ideas. Then you have to look at the processes, the services, manufacturing, your model, as well as your product. After you define which of the ideas you want to use, then discover, then develop it, and then deliver. This is a typical innovation cycle that we use to start in innovation. Innovation, concepts, and impact in education. It is commonly thought of as new and game-changing. However, many innovations are merely improvements on something that already exists. It's important to create a culture of innovation with your organization, which means supporting productive failures. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. And this is according again to Albert Einstein. Model your risk taking and your learning from failure. Principals make more visible educators' risk, failures, and their learning from failure. So better model these practices. The most essential part of creativity is not being afraid to fall. According to Jeff Bezos, mistakes are nothing to be ashamed of for innovators in an innovative organization. It is an expected cost of doing. You do enough new things and you are going to bet wrong. As we go into concepts and impact of innovation and education, what is the difference between innovation and improvement? Huge improvements made by charter schools in traditional outcomes for students. Most are not new or different. Many of the proposed improvements in teacher education and evaluation, student assessment, and school design in traditional public schools do not seem to be novel. Yet, the challenges in improving learning and life outcomes require true innovation. In Japanese, innovation is what they call kaikaku. It means radical improvement. That is to strive to amaze customers, clients, be creatively dissatisfied, strive to do much with less, and see problems as opportunities, challenge the status quo, and ask why or what if questions. So we have to engage other stakeholders, brainstorm solutions, look for synergies, and act promptly. Learn as you go, follow Kaikaku with Kaizen. And Kaizen is another Japanese word that means continuous improvement. As Washer states, we need solutions that are both different and better. Why innovation in education? A brand new generation of institutional leaders taking the reins. The world has continued to shrink and is much smaller. Technology continued an unabated, unchecked progression, and what is now futuristic has become a commonplace. Complexity is a daily norm, and change is only constant. Opportunities, problems, and grand challenges abound. If we redesign schools to get better results on 20th century outcomes, our students will be poorly served. Let us look at the essential 21st century skills. At the bottom part, we have questioning, thinking, and creating. Then we have your enablers. These are the learning environments, curriculum and instruction, and standards and assessments. After that, we have learning outcomes. First, learning outcome is the core academic foundation and 21st century themes. Second is learning, thinking, and innovating skills. Third is life and social skills. Lastly, we have technology and info management skills. Effective school leaders need to consciously support innovation and keep a focus on changing the education landscape as it moves into the future. The focus is not on improving existing educational systems, but in changing them altogether. It is not on doing things better, but on doing better things. Not on doing things right, but on doing the right things to prepare students for a fast changing, independent world. Change of education. Why innovation? Education is a process of facilitating learning, transferring knowledge, skills, values, beliefs, and habits to others through storytelling, discussions, teaching, training, or research. The reason for education is simple and straightforward. That is to prepare students, predominantly young adults, for future success. Accordingly, education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today. And that is according to Sir Malcolm. Now, let us look at the principles of traditional education before. Produce outputs, like students who pass a standardized test. Teachers are sages on the stage. Bureaucracy, rules, plans, and tests. Value the efficiency and cost cutting. The principles are mutually reinforcing and interlocking. Look at this picture. For a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. And what is that? Please climb the tree. Do you think the elephant or the fish could climb the tree? This is quite a picture of our education system. According to Albert Einstein, everybody is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Now we go to the principles of reinvented education. It inspires outcomes, passion for lifelong learning in students. Teachers serve as guides on the side. Administrators serve as enablers for teachers. Coordinate progress in learning through dynamic linking and values that inspire lifelong learning. Communications, a peer-to-peer conversation, and the principles are mutually reinforcing and interlocking. Near to the town, in a small cottage in the United States, lived Rip Van Winkle, known to all as a harmless, drinking, shiftless lot who never would work, but roam about, always ready with jest and song idling, tipping all day long. He went to sleep to run away from his nagging wife, and woke up to find that his wife had died. He was a character in a Washington Irving short story He Went to Sleep Before the American War of Independence. He woke up 21 years later, after the war, and found himself in an independent United States of America. The recent trends in the K-12 education. Now, Rip Van Winkle has just woken up from his 100-year slumber and stares in amazement at how much everything has changed in the time he was asleep. He almost did not recognize anything until he went into a particular classroom. When Rip Van Winkle went to a classroom, he recognized immediately that it was a classroom because nothing much has changed in the K-12 education system since he fell asleep in 1990. Now, so what is innovation in education? A question for you to answer. Innovation in education is a technique that combines different styles to influence and to produce creative ideas, innovative products, and services. That is according to Dr. David Kidot. To charter new approaches in innovation, you have to transform yourselves, your students, and your school to cultivate the habits and mindsets of innovators, to open the floodgates of creativity and generate ideas that you can take with confidence. The transformational leader. Make changes happen. Self, in others, groups, and organization. The charisma is a special leadership style commonly associated with transformational leadership, which is extremely powerful and extremely hard to teach. Now, question is, what makes some individuals and organization more innovative than others? They ask provocative questions that challenge the status quo. They observe the world like anthropologists to detect new ways of doing things. If we don't challenge the way things have always been, we will never discover the greatest breakthrough of our future. The three key elements that consistently drive innovation in education. The three P's are people, processes, and philosophies that make some individuals and the people they lead more innovative than others. Entrepreneurs, inventors, and innovators around the world created and sustained high-performing cultures of innovation by building their people, processes, and philosophies around 5 fundamental discovery skills. We call these 5 core skills of innovators. These are the innovators' DNA. What are the 5 core skills of innovators? So we have it here. On the right, we have the discovery skills. On the left, we have the delivery skills. We have questions for analyzing, observe for planning, networking for detailed-oriented implementing, and we have experimenting for discipline, executing, and associating. Those are the 5 core skills of innovators. Innovative teaching supports students' development of the skills that will help them thrive in the future life and work. The art of teaching is the art of assisting discovery, according to Mark van Doren. Now, we go to what are the 21st century careers? It is all about change. Change in our thinking, in our strategies and behaviors to those that work in the new, ever-changing and challenging environment to meet the challenges of the times. I need to keep yourself current, resilient through continuous learning, as well as connected to your values is the career of the 21st century. The 21st century's shift is what you call the innovative thinking. It is a new call, a shift from the 20th century traditional view of organizational practices, which discourage employee innovative behaviors, to valuing innovative thinking as potentially powerful influence on organizational performance. You have to think outside the box. This is also getting obsolete, and we should think without box. And let me have this last slide. The change. 21st century shift in education and skill. Change is the only constant that stays today. To stay competitive, we need to manage the present and plan the future. Without change for the better, the kaizen in the Japanese, there will be no continuous improvement to be competitive in the current global competition. Continuous improvement, improvement without ending. So that ends my talk. Thank you so much for listening to me. Have a great day to all of you.